Good evening, YouTube. Something a bit different for you tonight. Homebrew Griffo has sent me his transatlantic Rhubarb Saison. This was the beer that he entered into the Welsh, and I have checked with him before pulling this off, but I've got the judge's feedback for his beer here, and I'm just going to compare my findings or my impression of his beer against what the judges said on the day. Couple of caveats. Obviously this is a completely different bottle that's been sent at a different time, kept in different conditions, so it may not exactly match the beer that the judges had in front of them on the day. And obviously if I was doing this as a proper judging, I'd sit down with the beer blind. I wouldn't have any information or anything about the beer other than the category it had been entered into and any special ingredients in it. So in this case, all I'd know about the beer is it was a 30A Saison with rhubarb. So looking at what the judges said, they were both very much in agreement on the score, which came in at 30. Now bear in mind, in BJCP competition, it's scored out 50 points, and anything 30 to 37 is a very good beer. So getting a very good beer is a very good result, so well done to you there straight away. So let's see what they said. So we had a pro brewer and a very experienced BJCP judge on this one. So basically they both said that the rhubarb wasn't quite strong enough to make it a rhubarb fruit beer, and that the Saison base beer was very good, and that maybe it would have scored higher as a plain Saison without mentioning the rhubarb in this case. So I'll open it up in a minute and we'll have a look. But the pro brewer's comments were things like a good pepper and spice but no fruit, shame don't get the rhubarb, it's a very good example of a Saison but sadly no rhubarb. It didn't score as well as it could have done because it was entered as a rhubarb beer. The BJCP judge said the rhubarb doesn't seem to be dominant enough to make it a rhubarb beer, and if it had been a bit stronger that would have added more depth of flavour. So at 30 points it's still a very good beer, so congratulations on getting 30. So I've had this one here about a week. Obviously it shipped, it was all stirred up and everything, so I've given it time to settle down, and we're going to crack it open now and have a look. Now Steve Molson did a review on this the other day. He also had trouble opening it. That lid's on there. There we go. Nice little fizz on it. Let's get it into a glass and see what we got. So initial impressions, yes, I definitely get some rhubarb there. It's certainly not an undertone, it's noticeable on the aroma straight away. Yep, I can see what our pro brewer was saying about the pepper and spice. Both of those come over well, they're both characters you'd expect to get in a Saison. Okay, appearance has got a slight haze on it, but then again with the addition of fruit that can normally be expected. It's got, I'm sorry, I'm holding it up to the light up there, you won't be able to see it. Maybe you can if I do that. Yeah, lovely colour on it, good head that's sticking around. When Steve posted his video, you could really see the bubbles screaming up the glass. Not so much in this one, but they're certainly there. Very fine light carbonation. Let's get into it and see. Okay, again, I'm definitely getting the rhubarb in the flavour as well as the aroma. It is there. It would be nice if it was stronger to give it full points in a fruit beer. But as a drinking beer and not as a judging it as a fruit beer, it's actually quite nice. The fruit level in it is very nice for drinking. So yeah, again, you're getting the spiciness. Guessing from the yeast. Obviously, I don't know the recipe, but I'm guessing that's coming from the yeast. That's what you'll normally expect in a Saison. Whether that's just me expecting it to come from the yeast or whether it did, I don't know. It's saying Homebrew Griffo would have to tell us. Overall, it's a gorgeous beer, I'll be perfectly honest. I could sit and drink this for hours. It scored, I believe, about right for a fruit beer. Simply because when you enter something in as a fruit beer into competition, we are looking for the specified fruit to be a dominant or very prominent factor in the beer, shall we say. That does mean that beers where it's what most people would consider to be well balanced, where you get the fruit but it's not a major factor, don't tend to score as high as ones where it's obvious that the fruit is in there. So, like I say, you've brewed a very nice beer here, and I'll be very happy if I had brewed that one. And in fact, I might hit you up for the recipe and brew it myself. And like I say, getting 30 puts it into the realms of very good in competition. So you've done well to get that. Yeah. Let's see what else they had to say. So, our pro brewer says grainy pilsner, like almost bready malt. It's there, yeah, it's definitely there. It's not a very high level in the malt. Yeah, I think perhaps in this bottle the fruit's a bit stronger than the bottle that they judged on the day, because our pro brewer said no fruit. Our BJCP judge said that the rhubarb is just detectable. I'd say this is more than just detectable. But unfortunately that's the luck of the draw with different bottles of beer. Sometimes the way they're kept, the way they're transported, can mean that one bottle tastes a bit different to another. Low as expected. Fermentation esters are quite high. Hoppy, good. Dry, yeah, dry finish on it. Good pepper notes from the yeast. Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, I do agree with what the judges said. From a drinking the beer point of view, though, it might almost feel a little harsh. At 30 points, I suppose that's one of the hard things with BJCP or any style-based competition. What you're doing, you're taking this beer and comparing it to a set of guidelines and describing how well it matches those specific guidelines, rather than is it just a very nice enjoyable beer. So for a very nice enjoyable beer, I'd add 10 points onto that. Thanks very much for sending it to me. Lovely beer. If you do decide to put it into competition again, I would up the rhubarb a little bit, and you'll probably get an extra 5 to 10 points on it. So congratulations, well done in the Welsh, and I'll chat to you again soon. Cheers!